Yo, it's Chad, Powers BMX Shop. Um, we got this Sunday model C24. I'm about to throw together. Um, Also, going to throw on some hot pink brakes and a gyro. I'm going to try and do a little how-to video, I guess, or whatever. I'm going to throw this together real quick and put a gyro on it right out of the box. Usually these bikes take longer to unpack than it does to actually build. All right. This is the Trans Blue Model 24. This thing's pretty cool. We've sold a fair share of these. If you want a bike to like actually ride BMX on and like hit the trails, skate park, that kind of stuff, this might not be the right bike. But if you want a bike where you can dabble at the park, dabble at the trails, but mostly like kind of cruise around on, not look like a nerd, you know, this is going to be the bike. Throw some pegs on it, haul your little groms around. That's exactly what this dude's doing. Getting a bike to chase this little kid around. So hopefully this will be like a little gateway cycle, getting him into a real BMX bike at some point. This is this Trans Blue is sick. All right. But if you do get this bike, it's solid. It's a cool bike, definitely. Serves its purpose. First thing I would do would be to take these Springfield brakes off, put a nice set of brakes on it. Not a big fan of the Springfield brakes. They're kind of designed for, in my eyes, they're kind of designed for that kid that runs brakeless all the time, but needs brakes to get past his parents. Or, you know, the kid who rides brakeless all the time, and then they need to throw some brakes on to go to the skate park. I don't know. Some people love them. I'm just not a huge fan, especially with gyros. Not trying to hate on Odyssey. All right. Shoo. All right. First thing I'm going to do is take these Springfield brakes off.
Because we don't need them. All right.
I'm a huge fan of Odyssey, but I think that the Springfield brakes and the Ghost pads are the two things from that brand that I'm not the biggest fan of, but it's cool. All right. So there's the brakes. The brakes are off. What's gonna be sick is we're doing hot pink brakes. That's gonna be cool. A little bit of grease. So yeah, once I get to putting the gyro on, I'm gonna show you guys, whoever watches this, a couple tricks that I have learned. I don't ride gyros, but I put them together a lot. A lot of people come through here for me to put their gyros on. So I'll give you a good rundown of what to do. All right. Brakes are on. Give it a little bit of spring tension. You want to, with the gyro, you do want a little bit more tension than without a gyro. You still don't want to just crank these springs down. Everything way harder to pull, wear the springs out faster. You don't want that. So you really want a little bit of spring tension on these springs. Let's see. At least it comes with grease. So, gyro tabs, kind of self-explanatory, but they just go straight on. There's one hole that's threaded, one hole that's not. Little tiny 2.5 Allen. This is so much better than back in the day where you had to take your headset cup out, press the gyro plate underneath the headset cup. All right. Gyro tabs installed. We're doing the nice sealed GTX. And that should just go straight over. Just like that. They come, some headsets will have a cap that's a little bit too fat, so the gyro won't go over it. So they send an extra cap. But sometimes you need it, sometimes you don't. And then the next thing is the top plate. It's got a little groove in it for your stem to sit in. Doesn't really matter which way. I guess it does matter, but you want to, stick it on, Odyssey facing up, and then let's put the stem back on. Wonder how many people's freaking out that the forks are just dangling here. Tighten up, tighten the headset back up. So the little grooves in the stem or in the top plate, most of the time will fit, like your stem will sit inside of it. Helps keep it from spinning. Snug that up, make sure it spins good. Then we'll hook up the brakes. You don't need to worry about the top part of your brakes yet. I always hook up the brakes first with a gyro without the top cable. So they always come a little bit like, most of the time they come a little bit pre-bent, so they can kind of just go straight up in here. I mean, eventually they'll go, if you put them on the other way, it'll still bend and be fine, but just makes it a little bit smoother to go with it already. So when I put these in, I want to thread it in until this part is flush. So you don't want this to be all the way up like this, coming out of the top of the gyro tab. So you want to keep it nice and flush, like this side. There we go. Just flush, flush. So that part's really important. We're gonna thread this in till it's flush on the top, right here. I'm here by myself. Fridays are Danny's gone today, and he's usually the camera holder. And this was kind of impromptu. Didn't really plan this. So yeah, I just hook up the cables into the gyro. Remember, these are flush with the top of the gyro tab. And then you want to keep this like as smooth as you can. So I usually kind of just let it fall natural. And then I'll put like a Velcro strap here. And you want to mark this, cut it. All right. We're good there. Velcro strap. All right, Velcro strap it is. All right. And then whenever I put these on, I'll always put it through a little bit, just bend it up, stick the straddle cable through, and it'll hold the straddle cable in there. Pro tip, 42069. All right. I already set up the brake pads earlier when I put the brakes on, so they hit nice and flush, solid. And then just pull the cable through like normal. Make sure the cable ends, or whatever these are called, are in the gyro there. Pull this kind of snug. Some people like to do that barrel trick where you screw it all the way out, tighten it up, and then loosen the barrel back in. But yeah, and then you can pull this a couple times. Make sure it feels pretty good. Whoo. Make sure they're not rubbing. Basically, you set your brakes up just like that. You do want to make sure you keep your gyro so it kind of rests on the plates here, and give it as much room as possible to do the braking gyro-ness. But yeah, you want as much room as possible in there. Let it move around. And then we'll throw the bars on, and then throwing the upper cable on is nothing. Your gyro's on, you're ready to go now. One thing I definitely appreciate about Sunday is they kind of have grease on all their bolts already from the factory, which is nice. if anybody out there ever wants to order a new bike and wants upgrades like this straight out of the box, like we definitely do it. We you know, a lot of times we'll press in a bottom bracket before we ship it for people all the time. You know, if you want to, I don't know, buy this bike without the wheels, you know, we'll do that. Like, yeah, we're super easy and flexible to do whatever customers want. You never ever want to crank down on your brake lever as tight as you can. You want it snug enough to where you can't really move it by hand, but loose enough that if you fall, it moves and doesn't break. Because if you have it cranked down and you hit it, and it'll just break instead of moving. All right, and then the upper cable is good. So there's you can see there's a short and a long. Short side will go closest to the brake lever. Short side closest to the brake lever. And they just screw right in. So the top, I usually start with these ones all the way down. So the bottom I stop it flush with the top. The bottoms the tops I just screw all the way in. And then hook it up to the brake lever. Bada bing, just like this. Bada boom. Make sure all these are in. And then you can pull your gyro up a little bit. And you're good. So, yeah, that feels good. But, see, there's a little bit of play before they tighten up, before they actually hit the brakes, I guess. So you got 1, 2, 3 spots where you can adjust that. I always try to do it a little bit even, just so you don't have one of these barrel adjusters like way far out. And then spin it, make sure it doesn't click. When you get that little floppy flop, I'll make it do that real quick. See how it flops around? Bloop, bloop. That's just because it's not sitting level here. So if you start off nice and level, usually ends off nice and level. You know, flush here, these screwed all the way in. Yeah. But you can play with these at like moving around to get this nice and level. Yeah, we're good. You can see how there's still a little bit of play in here. Screw this out a little bit more. Get that play out of there so it's nice and tight. Yeah, that went super easy. And then you take a 10 mil wrench, go around, tighten all these little lock nuts up. Rip, rip, rip. And the last one. And then this will keep them in there tight. Tight and right. That's how you put on a gyro. Made it look pretty easy, huh? But that's it. We're good. Bike's built. Throw some pedals on. I'll throw the front wheel on. Might as well finish the bike while we got you. All right. Grease on the pedals. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but pedals, see this pedal has the grooves on the pedal right here? That's always the left pedal. And we got a bike. Oh, nope. I gotta put a cable end on. And then we got a bike. Stem's probably crooked. It's not really a running joke, but it's so true. For the life of me, can't put a sim straight. And if I did, it was by accident. Just got lucky. Sunday Model C with the hot pink brakes. Install the gyro, nice and level, no clicking. Clean. Evo brakes, brand new. Sunday Model 24. Model C 24. There we go.